Apollonian and Dionysian are terms used to describe the two main principles in Greek culture. Both words derived from the Greek gods Apollo and Dionysus. Apollo, god of music, sun, poetry, and truth, is also associated with medicine and healing. Dionysus was the god of ritual, madness, theater, and fertility. Thanks to Friedrich Nietzsche, a German philosopher, the terms Apollonian and Dionysian were explained and solidified. According to Nietzsche, the conflict between emotion and reason between Dionysus and Apollo led to the great age of Greek tragedy. Through these ideas, dualism, in almost every aspect of the word, can be explained. Principles such as order, reason, clarity, analysis, control, moderation, and structure are root examples of this Grecian ideal. This archway shows obvious structure and logical order, both characteristics in line with Apollonian thought. This cup of water illustrates the characteristics of steady and calm. This video of our crosswalk depicts clear logic, which in turn creates order within the structures of our campus. This painting, Bay of Naples, shows dreamlike and pleasurable characteristics. Lastly, Apollonian ideas can be seen through dance. Simpler, non-flourishing, controlled movement portray this idea of technique in the simplest of forms. Dionysian principles are the polar opposite of Apollonian. Principles such as frenzy, intuition, ritual, imagination, excess, passion, and feeling are the main characteristics of this ideal. Often, in Dionysian principles, man submits his individuality and allows himself to dive deeper into the bigger picture of life. This moving water opposes the still water you viewed before. The movement, chaos, and more lively nature of the fountain showcases Dionysian aspects. Ethiopian Princess illustrates human drama, pain, and emotion. In this video, Emma demonstrates the chaotic movement-oriented nature of this ideal. You can see the more emotional, passionate, imaginative movement that she portrays through the Dionysian principle. Marie Camargo was a French dancer known for her amazing technical abilities and advances for women's physicality in dance. She studied under François Prévost and danced most famously for the Paris Opera. She is credited with setting basic leg positions and lines like Alice Akon turned out from the hip at 90 degrees. Camargo rose to fame when she ran on stage and improvised a spectacular solo due to a dancer missing his entrance. Camargo was acclaimed for her speed and agility and was known as the first woman to execute an entrecote and cabriole. Soon, fans idolized and aspired to be her, even copying her hairstyles. Through her passion for technique and order, we can see Apollonian characteristics shine through. Marie Salé was a French dancer and choreographer, most noted for her attention to artistic qualities within her dancing. She was the first woman to choreograph the ballets in which she appeared. Because she was born into a family of performers, her artistry blossomed from a young age. Like Camargo, her rival, Salé also studied under François Prévost. She made her Paris Opera debut in 1721, but was most successful in London, where she presented her power as a tragic actress while creating Les Characters de l'Amour in 1734. She was harassed for her changes to the traditional restrictive costume of the time. Through her artistry, we can see Dionysian characteristics such as passion and expression. Hi, I'm Eric Lobenberg, and today I'm sitting with the two Maries, Marie Salé and Marie Camargo. Both embody a different style, either Dionysian or Apollonian. Both are huge names in the ballet world, and today we're going to start off by talking about their innovations with costuming throughout the time.
As you may know, my pas de deux partner and I decided to remove our masks when performing the characters de la dance in order to perform more facial expressions as well as movement throughout the body. We felt it was more important to portray an emotion through the face as well as the body in order to get the full quality that we were going for. People were not all right with breaking free from the tradition of these masks. At this point, I also decided to remove my corset as a role I played of Venus in the ballet Pygmalion. I instead chose a Grecian style muslin to allow expressive movement in my upper body that I felt needed to be there. When I was performing in January of 1734, I was of course wearing the attire that I had come to alter to fit my style, and the opera troupe that didn't believe I should be wearing the attire similar to a man's harassed me to the point where I decided that I could no longer perform in England.
Sally, a wonderful explanation of what you've done for the dance world, for women especially. Camargo, I would love to hear from you and your thoughts about these costuming changes and innovations that you've made as well.
Yes, so unlike my friend Sally over here, I like a physical challenge. My alterations in costumes were not to be more artistically free, but to better show off my technical ability. I have a lot. So first, I shortened romantic length tutus to end at my shin. This was to show off the added beats and jumps that I decided were necessary in ballet, for women especially. Before myself, no other woman had performed jumps like cabrioles and entrechats. I really enjoyed moving at the same pace as my male counterparts were. I also decided to remove the heels off of ballet slippers, and this was to allow myself to move faster and to allow me to jump higher. Lastly, I wore pantaloons that were tight-fitting that allowed my larger movement to shine through. The main reason I felt it was necessary to alter the norm was to emphasize the groundbreaking movements that I was doing as a woman.
Wonderful explanations, ladies. Thank you. Next, I would like to move on to talk about the rivalry between the fans that you both have accumulated over time, and why you believe that your fans are more drawn to you than your rival.
Why, yes, of course, Eric. I think my fans appreciate the Dionysian attributes that I bring to my dancing because they are moved by the emotional qualities that I bring through the facial recognition that I have for the emotions that are coming through the movement. While Camargo apparently thinks she is all that, I think that without facial emotion, then how are you supposed to feel the music and emote what you are bringing to the dance itself?
Oh. Okay, well, I believe my fans are impressed with my groundbreaking movement as a woman because I saw what men were doing and that women weren't performing these complex jumps that men wear. So I decided to take it upon myself to kind of one-up the men in that sense. You know, I was the first woman to perform these jumps, as I think I've mentioned. Being the first woman to achieve these difficult jumps is what I think drew my audience in, really. From there, my technical precision continued to awe the crowds. I believe being technically advanced is the key part of this art form. You know, without technique, we would just be actors, like, fumbling around on the stage, and that's why my fans have stuck around.
Now that we've heard from these timeless and revolutionary dancers, why don't we hear from some modern-day professionals and hear their thoughts and ideas about these two dancers? Some you may even recognize.
That's a great question, and I can answer that easily. More focused on artistry. When I was 17, I went to a competition in Moscow, 1981, and I took a gold medal, long story, or the short of it, and I really won that competition on artistry. I overheard somebody saying I didn't have any technique, so it was the artistic expression that was definitely the #1 thing for me.
The technique was just part of it, because therefore the artistry could come out. And it was more fun that way too, because that way, you know, like your personal personality could come out too, which was a great plus.
You know, I would choose dancers with technique. Everybody has heart, and that's back to the spectrum, you know, and everybody is capable of dancing with artistic freedom. If the technique isn't there, then you can't be set free.
Of both technique and artistry.
Oh God, I'd love to have them both.
And the best ones, I think, have both.
But at the end of the night, when you close your eyes, what do you see? Technique and artistry. Yeah.